If you're tired of not making progress and you're ready to be the artist you know you're meant to be, you're in the right place. You're listening to the Singer's Path podcast. The Path, or Performing Artists Training Hub, will cover everything, including singing tips that actually work, advice from top industry professionals, and life-changing mindset shifts. Out with the starving artist and in with the thriving artist. I'm your host, Sarah Bishop, professional singer, actor, educator, and entrepreneur. I'm not afraid to speak the truth and stop the gatekeeping of quality information so you can actually become the artist you dream of being. So let's get on the path, shall we? Even though we're all on our own journeys, it always helps to have a guide.
Hello, it is me, your host, Sarah Bishop, and I am tuning in to talk to you about some singing stuff so that you can be a better singer and feel better about your singing, all right? That is what we are about here at the Singer's Path podcast. I'm not sure what kind of mood I am in at this point in time, but it is bordering on feral and ferally weird. And if you're listening, you know that. You've been down to clown with my bizarre personality. And today, there's been something that's been getting under my skin lately. If I'm so for real, and maybe the goofiness can take off the edge of it, I actually did try to make some content today. Monday was a big content day on my calendar, and really, I'm ashamed to say, but I did not really sit down and do the content the way that I wanted to do the content and felt like I scrolled instead of worked, which is often a trap we fall into on social media. And today I wanted to discuss something that's actually a really important distinction, and that I'm being called really deeply to make this distinction to you guys, because I feel like it has a lot to do with how you beat up on yourself from comparison and watching things online, and how confusing it can be to try to DIY your own vocal education and try to, put the pieces together as far as figuring out what your voice needs. And that is really the difference, the true difference between what is marketing, an algorithm, and trying to genuinely hook the audience, you guys, into the world of the teacher, getting them more followers, getting them more leads, and what is actual vocal education. And I feel like it's been very difficult. I'm going to talk about myself briefly here. It's been very difficult to figure out how I want to show up online, if I'm so for real. And sometimes I talk very candidly on here because I don't know, sometimes we can have like this weird parasocial relationship where, I don't know, I feel like I want to be vulnerable and share like the truth behind what it's like to actually run a business and have that business be arts. And often the snags that we feel as educators, as someone that's genuinely passionate about helping or educating, these snags of where business and, socials and marketing come into the crosshairs of that as an artistpreneur of sorts, and where, your values as a person can kind of conflict with how the system is set up. And I know we all understand that to some degree. I think we're all aware that we're in some kind of capitalistic structure here, and there's ways to play the game and ways to not play the game. I've talked about that even auditioning, right? There's a way to play the game, to audition and do well and do what you need to do. And then there's a way to say, screw it, and I'm not doing it that way. And the more I'm learning about the business side of running the studio, running courses, needing to learn to sell and advertise, and, being bad at it at first and getting better at it and getting help and really learning the behind the scenes, it's starting to create more clarity for me as to why you guys are so stinking confused, and what I can do to try to make that easier to understand. And then how can I lean into it, and how can I do it in a way that feels good and doesn't feel yucky? So first thing to mention is I want to speak to your experience that when we are scouring online on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and we are looking for, tricks, ways to help our voice, that because we're in so much discomfort, we don't know what's going on with our voice, that we are just looking for answers, and what better way than to Google it or to look for things that can help us, right? There's a lot of free information. But how do we, decipher if it's good free information or if it's generalized crap that just kind of leaves us more confused than when we started? And the first thing I need to speak to is the fact in the human condition, in the human experience, right? From person to person, people don't really want to know that something is challenging or can be hard, right? Especially when we're scrolling. We have to keep in mind those social media apps, TikTok, Instagram, they're designed, like they did to me today, to suck out your attention span by giving you quick hits of dopamine. And I'm sure in years' time, probably not even that far away from now, we're going to study how that can, in a very negative way, I'm sure they're doing studies on this already, negatively impact the brain and mental health and how we function and operate as a society, okay? So that comes into play with everything, right? So I want you to have your radar on for certain things out there that, let's just call it's like a fad diet, okay? Remember, not that keto's bad, but those fad diets where it's just do this and then you'll be skinny. And meanwhile, it's diarrhea supplements. You know what I mean? I think that this exists in all over the place, but especially in vocal education. Okay. So, because the human brain right now, when we're all scrolling on these platforms, is addicted to the dopamine quick hits, I am telling you, when these big platforms blow up, it's because they're giving them that drug, okay? That's what that content is actually doing. It's either entertaining and, someone's reacting to a dog singing, or you're reacting to someone that is already gifted, right? A voice teacher has a student on there that is already good at singing, and they don't really offer any actual help or way to show how that student improved. And most of the time, that's not even that person's student. They're just watching and going, wow, what a great singer, right? And, back in 2020, that when we were all doom scrolling for COVID, that was fine, right? 6 years later, when content is just kind of brain rot, but brain rot for singers, and I know sometimes I sound kind of negative. It's not to say that when a singer gets boosted for going viral, I don't have a problem with that. It's just when it doesn't really add any substance. And before you go Google me, I know I'm completely guilty of this. Everything that I'm talking to you about, I have lived and done. And I'm really assessing how I want to show up. And the podcast is actually one of my favorite ways to feel like I'm actually connecting with you and actually giving you more of a full story, either of the complexities and the paradoxes of what it means to be a professional artist, or to ethically show up for you with more actual detail on how to actually do some of these vocal coordinations, or at least give you some steps or resources that you can actually do something about it that works, okay? But I'm guilty of this. One of my first videos that went viral, it was responding to a guy that, probably used Melodyne, but I mean, honestly, everybody uses fucking Melodyne. If you are watching videos on TikTok, they probably Melodyned it, okay? I hate to say, but that's the truth. Unless it says raw vocals on it, it's probably Melodyne, all right? So I responded. I did one of those vocal coach reacts because I was trying to figure out how to get the algorithm to work, right? And it was just, I picked some singer that I thought, was kind of coming across my feed and was popping off. So then I was like, wow, look at this. And then I was reacting to them. And, it went viral. I think it has 1.5 million views or something like that. And I just remember being okay, it was this thrilling but weird empty feeling that I felt like I didn't really make anything of substance or service. And it was almost just it felt like this piggybacking off of someone else's thing. which I just didn't really like. And since then, I have made a couple if I really think the singer is incredible or unique. And I do try my best to add something of entertainment value, or, it's like something just very interesting or very different. But when I've seen vocals teachers, and some of which I know and I respect and I like, and I get it, that it pops off from that. And they know this too. This is the other thing. The teachers know this. The good ones know this. They're aware of this game. And a lot of them don't like it too much, but they just accept that it's part of it. They're kind of complacent to, or apathetic to this is how it works. I don't make the rules kind of situation. But I don't know, it ends up, it's like a lottery of putting people on the map who are best at just accepting that the game is about giving quick wins or giving entertainment value over quality of education. Okay. And so I played that game. It kind of worked a little bit. And then I started getting more creative with sketches and started to have some more fun. But even then, in a 1-minute sketch, right? Or, a 90-second sketch. That's the other thing. The videos that get pushed out to you guys, they have to be under a minute. But now creators are trying to make them a little bit over a minute because you can't monetize on a video that's under 1 minute. So I have several videos that have multi-millions of views or hundreds of thousands of views even, and I have not monetized on them. I've made no money from them. I have one that has almost 5 million views, and I have not seen a single cent from that video because it's under a minute. But that's what the algorithm chooses to push out, okay? And when I have my most viral video, it's okay, I guess that's fine that it's out. But, it feels like you don't have a lot of say over the thing that gets pushed out. It's usually the things that go viral are the most controversial or are the most simplistic and watered down, and go back to this idea that singing gets to be easy and effortless. And it's really just this one secret and just this one trick. And so I've been struggling for the last year because the more you understand the voice and the more mature you get and the more your brain develops and the more that you understand the complexities and paradoxes of life, it feels gross to get online and be like, hey, this one quick fix is going to solve all your problems, because it's appealing to your egos, guys. But that doesn't mean that it's actually going to work. Okay. So all this to say, I'm talking about this experience kind of behind the scenes of how these teachers more or less know that it's more appealing to the drug addictness that is scrolling to do something that is clickable. And I mean, I've been coached in this too, guys. This is really behind the curtain, that the idea for this clickbait content is get them to like you, get them to have that quick win and oh yeah, it's working right away. And oh yeah, oh, well, if this person can do it, or at least it's entertaining, or I like this person. And then you're supposed to get them into your world. And then that's when you can better serve them and give them, what would eventually be a paid offer. Because then there's the other end of it as a business owner. As much as I want to give free things, which is why I love talking on this podcast and doing content that is of a longer form, which I understand I'm going to have to go to YouTube to actually get that to work. It doesn't translate on TikTok and Instagram as well, because again, you have to do whatever that app wants you to do. And even those two apps are different in how you approach them. You're not really supposed to multi-post. But Jesus, just as much as they're farming your attention, they're farming our life too, as far as our how much content we're making. And especially when we're business owners, right? We have other things to do. I have clients to meet. I have to do back end stuff. There's a lot of things to do. So all this to say, I hope this doesn't sound complainy. I'm just trying to give you the insider of someone that is posting all the time. Maybe you're a voice teacher listening and you want to have more followers and you want this stuff, and you dream about doing it. And basically, I'm telling you how you can pop off, right? It's doing something controversial. It's doing something with a quick win. It's telling a story and being relatable, like saying something, speaking specifically to an experience that people universally have, or is niche enough that people will relate to at a deep level, okay? And I guess what I'm trying to say is when you, the consumer, are watching these things, it's fine if you are naturally drawn to someone, but I guess it's like, look at their body of work beyond like the quick hit thing. And the other thing I want to say is make sure you're like, I don't know, like not feeling bad about yourself if the tool doesn't work. I find this a lot with my beginner singers and my younger singers. They will look at a viral sensation, for example, raise your ya. I hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it. It's not for everyone. Okay. It's a pet peeve of how I operate. You can't. I mean, listen, I have courses and stuff that, I'm teaching you to the best of my ability to get you to understand your voice. And I'm actually going to talk about something here very quickly that is accessible for free for a very limited time, so that you can understand how to pinpoint what your voice actually needs. And I know in course format, right, it's not the same as having a one-on-one private lesson where someone is right in front of you, pivoting right in front of you, okay? But like people need different tiers. They need different things. They need different offers to match them wherever they are in their vocal journey, right? But something about like the virality of like when there's a vocal tool, and I think it's kind of a joke, but then I don't know that everybody thinks it's a joke. It's like, just raise your ya. And let me tell you, that isn't going to work for like 60% of people. Because if someone has any kind of shouty tendency whatsoever, so they're weighty, they're kind of pulling, they need to work on their head voice, right? There's just like many different habits that could go into play. A ya, especially an ah, I would prefer if it's ya or ya. Like ya involves the back of the tongue so badly. It opens everything up so much. It can cause a lot of tension for the wrong person, okay? And it can cause them to just scream, okay? So I don't like when we're using broad tools to, like, this is a fix-all thing for everybody. And so this brings me back to my point, is that when you're consuming this stuff, you have to understand a lot of it is about virality. It's about getting on the map. It's about leveraging themselves. Some of it is about attracting the appropriate client. Like when I show up, hopefully authentically, which it ebbs and flows. It is hard when I feel like I'm at this moral contradiction of like how I actually want to show up and educate online and like what I'm doing when I have things to sell and like this weird predicament feeling. But there is a benefit of content as an educator where you can show up online and you will attract like the right people like you, as long as you're showing up in your authentic self, like speaking your truth, like you will attract other people like that. So that is a positive. But when you, the consumer, are consuming all of these viral hacks and like, it's easy, just mix one hack and then I'll find your mix. And then everything seems to contradict each other. I'm going to make it a lot easier for you. It's because it's a general clickbait thing. It is meant to give your brain a quick win or a quick like drug hit of dopamine. It is meant to appeal to your ego, and it is meant to get you into the world. And I know I have also done this. So that is why I am saying with my full chest and like a little bit emotionally, because it's conflicting, right? That this is how this works. And if you aren't aware of that and you're beating yourself up because it's not working the way that you want it to, and that you feel bad about yourself because you're not getting the fancy thing you want, right? I'm here to like tell you for real, you can get there, but it's not going to be through these quick hacks. It's probably going to take a little time and a little bit of discipline. And the reality is, if you guys are saying you want to sing like one of the most epic singers of all time, like Tori Kelly or Mariah Carey or Kelly Clarkson, what they do is difficult. So to like this fantasy marketing of thinking like, oh, I'll just do this one trick and then magically I'll just be entitled to like receive this like amazingly fantastic sound. Well, if you haven't trained anything up to that point, like what makes you think you're just going to roll out of bed one day, turn into Simone Biles and do a gold-winning floor pass at the Olympics, right? Like that's what I keep saying is like, you guys are comparing yourself to Kelly Clarkson. Some of these teachers and people that are trying to have virality and popularity to grow their business, to make more money, and sometimes hopefully to be of service to help people. They're basically saying, listen, you can do this floor pass like Simone Biles. All you got to do is learn to touch your toes. That's it. Like, that's like probably the best analogy that I can give for how ridiculous it is. But like, that's what it is. Truly. Like, and so if you're telling yourself you want to do a hard thing, mix spelt really high like Kelly Clarkson, I hate to say, but you're probably going to have to like have a plan, right? You're going to have to like get help. And I hate to say, you're probably also going to have to pay for help, because the best help is not free, especially customized quality help. Okay. And I'm going to tell you about something right now that I do because I like care about not gatekeeping information. That's not what it is. But at a certain point in time, you do have to buckle up, say this matters to me, and put some skin in the game to actually even make you do it and make sure that the thing that you're getting is actually going to move you forward. Okay. And so I do this once a year, and I want to talk about this real quick. And I do make it free once a year because I don't want you guys being confused and then trying shit that doesn't work. I really care deeply about you at least having some level of self-awareness that if you are going to be scouring online, you are going to DIY it, you are going to try Yaya, that you have a little bit more, again, vocal self-awareness so that you are actually picking exercises and things that aren't going to hurt you or move you in the wrong direction. Okay. You're going to actually be drilling and trying things that benefit you and at least are targeting the correct areas of your voice. But that all starts with you understanding how to really vocally, objectively assess yourself. How do you determine, by listening to yourself, what voice teachers know, right? How do you actually know how to move yourself somewhat in the right direction? If you're going to DIY it, right, which I know most of you are, if you're listening to this, then you need some form of direction. You need to understand what specific path should you be starting on. And then, also understanding that as you're on this path and say you do start to get the right exercises, that your voice is going to change and need other things and need to pivot. So understanding how to hear and listen to yourself so you can pivot and then meet your next level of vocal needs. Okay. So real quick, I want to share this with you because it is directly tying into what I'm saying. And if you're feeling like you're trying everything with your voice, nothing is working, right? You're trying all these viral hacks, nothing is working. And you're constantly just scouring for online, these answers, you're feeling confused. And the other thing is, something's off, right? What you're doing isn't all the way right. Otherwise, you would be able to sing the way you want to. And it's not because there's anything wrong with you. That's the point that I'm trying to emphasize. There's so much quick fixes. It's an ego play. It's a farming for your attention and your likes and your follows, okay? The problem is that you don't actually understand your own voice. You don't understand your own vocal needs. And why should you? Because no one's ever freaking told you that or taught you that before. And I was in this feeling of discomfort before I became a voice teacher. That is what pushed me to becoming a voice teacher, because I was like, I've been singing for 15 years and I really don't understand how to help myself. Like, this is bullshit. Like, I think I'm going to need to take this to the next level and actually understand what the hell's going on here. Okay. This is why I created Discover. Okay. Discover is using the training and information that I have as a voice teacher, and I use it all the time with students. And it's how I detect and hear what your voice is doing. It's how I recognize what your vocal tendency is and how I understand what your voice actually needs. And then I give you like examples of tools and ways to move forward, right? With this new clarity. So you're going to learn that. You're going to learn what your voice is doing. You're going to recognize what your own vocal habits are, and then understand, because of those vocal habits, what direction your voice needs to go into. It's actually very simple. Like, it's very like, oh, how am I supposed to be solving this problem? All I'm doing is scouring for solutions, but I don't even know what the problem is. Like, that's what it is. You need clarity around what the problem is so that you can find a proper solution, right? And honestly, if this has been something you've been struggling with, I have to say this with the most sincerity and love as possible. go get Discover, for God's sake. It is the obvious next step, okay? Because especially right now, if you're listening to this, hopefully before April 10th, 2026, right now, Discover's free, right? Because I don't want you to be in this discomfort. I want you, if you're going to do it, if you're going to go out and do this on your own, I want you to have some stuff of quality, okay? So you can watch it for free until April 10th. This is very popular. This has been viewed on 6 out of 7 continents in the whole world. People love this course. And I care about helping you. I love sharing this information. So I'm doing that big sister thing where I kind of yell at you, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to do this, but it's truly like, if it's available to you, you're hearing this before April 10th and you haven't watched that, what are you doing? Especially when you're saying that you want this other thing, you want to sing really well, and you are in discomfort, and you're trying all these things, and things aren't working. Why wouldn't you fucking go watch it? Okay. So if you swipe up, the link is in the show notes for Discover. Please don't be the person that signs up and then doesn't finish it. No, we're going to be the kind of person that says we want something and then we show up for ourselves and we finish it, because I know that this can genuinely change how you hear your voice and how you work on your voice, and thus actually get the results that you want. Again, swipe up with the link in the show notes, go get it, go through it, finish it. And the other thing I'm going to say is that there's little Easter eggs in there. No pun intended. I know it's almost Easter, so I guess I kind of did that on purpose. There's actually a really, really special pricing offer in there for pillars that exists, okay? And there's a very special live call that is going to be happening where I can literally talk to you on this live call and help make sure that you have the right steps moving forward. You can volunteer to sing. You can get your questions answered about Discover, but you're not going to know about that until you get into Discover, the free 2.5-hour masterclass. Okay. So please, there's gifts in there. There's ways to help yourself in there. There's the opportunity for a live call with me to actually make sure you're on the right track. So please go get Discover, download it, watch it, enjoy it. Just know it is going to be revoked on April 10th. You're not going to be able to watch it after that. It literally gets deleted, bye-bye, gone, and it's no longer free anymore, okay? So do not sabotage yourself. Go watch it. Every single year I get emails I didn't get to watch it because I was at work. And I'm like, guys, I don't know what to tell you. This is worth literally thousands of dollars, so there is some boundaries on it, okay? I'm doing this because I want you to have it, but you got it. I can't make you watch it, all right? So watch it within the time frame. I care about you. I love you. This is going to be the step that makes your vocal education actually start to make sense and actionable. It makes it clear. It makes you go finally oh, fuck yeah. Oh my God. I had no idea. I've had professional singers, sorry, the steam heat's on. I've had professional singers who've been in multiple Broadway shows take this course and be like, holy shit, I had no idea, okay? This is for all levels. Even if you're starting out for the first time, you're going to learn something really valuable, and you're going to be a way more knowledgeable vocalist. It is way different than what you're seeing most of these teachers post online, okay? I actually care about you getting better, okay? So go take advantage of that. You have to sign up before April 10th. Okay. So I just talked about the whole portion of this episode in the means that, hey, listen, some of you are confused because some teachers are trying to play the marketing game and the algorithm game. The algorithm feeds into your ego and feeds into the quick wins, and it feeds into you thinking it's easy. But now I'm going to pivot into what it's actually freaking like to study voice. And unfortunately, it's not that, okay, this is where language gets confusing. It's not that singing itself, the sensation of it, should feel not easy, right? It shouldn't feel painful or hard, but there is effort that goes into learning a craft, okay? And especially if you really deeply care, you're going to have some discipline and commitment and devotion to doing something that you care about. And I mean, I love watching Kelly Clarkson have interviews about this. She talks about how much better she's gotten as a vocalist from doing it for her whole life. You get better and better and better because you have an understanding of how the voice works and you get more masterful at using it. Ironically, I think it was also Kelly Clarkson that made us think that if we weren't just born magically a prodigy, then it wasn't in the cards for us to become an amazing singer. But the news is in, the verdict is here, and anyone can learn to get better at singing. But it depends, your next step for what you need to do entirely depends on what you individually need at that moment. So identifying what that need is and then taking the next appropriate step is the thing that most people actually spend years wasting their time on because they're not getting to the crux of what the actual issue is. And I'm hoping in the next episode here, I can also talk about, hey, maybe give you more clarity. And this is general, but this is to give you a better idea about what is the order that voice teachers train voices in. But just to give you an idea of what ingredients need to go into place if you're expecting to get a major, amazing result. Okay, so I'll make a note to make that for our next episode. But all this to say is when you find a good teacher, you find a training program, and there's many different ways to do it. I'm not saying that you have to spend thousands of dollars a month, right? For me, when I train with my top teachers, they're $200 an hour. If I go once a week, that's $800 a month. Okay. It's like someone's rent. Okay. So that's where this voice teaching stuff, why everybody goes online for free stuff, because it feels like it's so gatekept. But then you guys want results that expert teachers are going to give you. So that's why I'm here trying to bridge that gap, guys, okay? But there's other ways to studying singing, right? The only way that people coach privately with me at this point is a private mentorship that is, not going to lie, it's expensive. Because it's you signing up for my personal time one-on-one. We're spending a lot of time. We meet twice a week. It's really intense. That's a private jet getting you where you want to go. Okay. Not everybody is going to need a private jet to get where they need to go. Some people are going to travel by train. Some people are going to fly commercial. Some people are going to, take the bus. Some people are going to take, they're going to walk. Okay. So the amount of money you're willing to put in is going to get you to that destination faster. But your goal and my hope for you is by looking, there's so many good resources online, but hopefully it actually leads you to someone that speaks your language and gets you to your next step in the method, fashion, at the pace that is appropriate for you and your budget and what you want. Okay. And so, yeah, that's why I'm doing this for free, is to give you a glimpse into the realities of what it's like to actually study and to give you some actual good information. Now, unfortunately, when you're studying intensely, right, once you watch Discover and you see what's inside of there, you're going to see, again, there are some actual steps. But I think something else I want to speak to is that it's not always full of quick wins when you study the voice, okay? Studying the voice can be a very confrontational activity. And I think that's the other thing that makes it such an anomaly, is that it brings up a lot of our internal world and how we view things based off of how we treat ourselves as we're studying the voice, okay? So that's what I'm saying. It's not very sexy to get online and to be yeah, studying the voice is kind of hard. It's very confrontational. It takes a lot of repetition and devotion. And, honestly, I feel like I take 2 steps forward and sometimes I take 1 step back, and there's a different thing that I'm learning, and then I take 2 more steps forward and I take 1 step back. That isn't hot, okay? People don't want to hear that. They want to hear that it's easy for them. They want to feel like just anyone can do it if they just, like and follow. Okay. And I'm here to tell you, yeah, anyone is capable of getting better, but not everybody is going to actually have the drive and devotion and the love and passion to really truly study a craft. That takes time. And again, you don't have to spend $1,000 a month training with the top teachers. You can do it in a way that is at least focused, it is going to move you forward, but it's going to be more in your budget, okay? Which is another reason, again, get in Discover, because I am literally, I'm doing some things in there that is just for the people that have Discover. That is insane as far as pricing goes. I want you to have these opportunities, these tools, these ways of helping yourself so you're actually improving, okay? So all that to say, this was an interesting episode, and I know sometimes I talk about things in a very strong, passionate way, and it's it's a lot, but it's because I care, and I also get it. Like, I felt this level of frustration, and especially as a struggling artist back in like 2018, 2019, I just wanted something that at least could point me in the right damn direction so I could be more conscious of like where I was going and what I needed to do. So this is my gift to you right now. Go get Discover. Please use discernment when you're online. Some stuff really is for clickbait, and that's fine. It's not to blame the teachers. I myself have done it. It's a way to build the following, to leverage your reputation as being an online voice teacher with many followers. But I think behind the scenes, a lot of the quality teachers that haven't really done that, and I talk to a lot of them, right? Like, it kind of rubs up against my values a bit, because it's also important that we're emphasizing that like studying your voice isn't full of quick wins, right? Like, yeah, you should be getting better, but it's not like all peaches and cream. And to tell you that that's how it is lying to you to get you to buy something. I would rather you go in with open eyes and know that you're signing up because something matters to you, that it matters that you're a good singer, that it matters that you can express the way that you want to, that you are consciously like signing up for like, yeah, I am willing to do what it takes and learn about myself along the way so that I can do this like soul mission thing. That's what I care about. I care about you being aware and not being tricked into buying things because of a pain point. I want you to actually know, like, yeah, this is a problem, but like I can see a path forward, okay? So please, 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 especially while this is free. Guys, like, honestly, there's not a whole lot of incentive to me pushing this to you for free when it's worth so much money beyond just really, really wanting to help. So take advantage of it. Go watch it before April 10th. If you're listening to this after April 10th, 2026, I'm sorry. The best thing that I can offer is to make sure you're on the email list, the Singer's Path Secret Singers Digest. That's linked in my bio. I think it might be in the show notes below. Also, listening to, the fact that you're listening to the podcast episodes, this is one of the first places that I like to kind of drop things, because I really do feel like I'm connecting and talking with you. So if I was in person with you, like, I would probably tell you about this in advance, right? So that's why I like to view the podcast like that. So I drop when I'm doing sales or offers or things here first, and I also put them on my email list, right? And if you liked this episode, I mean, if you're a teacher and you related to any of this, like, I see you. I know how hard it is to kind of cross up against like, okay, this isn't real vocal education, but then also I kind of want to help, but also I kind of want to grow my following, and also I have to sell things for my business. I'm like, right? It's a lot, and I see you, and I hope you find a way to make it fun. That has been the biggest snag for me. And I just see you, and I love you. I get it. I so get it. And I believe in you. And I know you're going to find a way to connect with your people in the way that you can. Again, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star written review. That really helps us get the show out to more people and more singers and more educators and more artists. Because we don't just talk about the singers on here, right? We talk about all kinds of things related to performing arts. And I guess my mission is to maybe just offer a different way to the artist experience, like just a path that isn't as confusing, that we don't feel as lost in the woods, and maybe just gives you that extra edge of confidence that you are capable of paving your own way when you have a little bit more clarity of where you're going, okay? And with that, I care about you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you take care of your voice. I hope you drink a lot of water, and I will talk to you next time. Okay, bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. This helps me get this information out to more artists all over the world. Let's work together to spread the joys of music. Until next time, I'm your host, Sarah Bishop, signing off from the Singer's Path podcast. Thanks for listening.